Hi, I'm Jason Adcock, and welcome to our end-of-year wrap for Adcock Prestige, the year that was 2020. Well, it was an incredible year this year, ladies and gentlemen. A real roller coaster ride, really driven by the influences of the COVID-19 pandemic across the world. Well, the year started off fantastic for us. On the 2nd of January, we kicked off a sale for $5.1 million at 39 Richmond Street at Corinda, setting a new suburb record for Corinda, and the market seemed to power on from there. Low levels of stock, high amounts of buyer inquiry coming from locals upgrading, people coming back from Sydney and Melbourne, a lot of expats coming back from overseas. And then all of a sudden, 26th of March, I can remember it really clearly. Prime Minister Scott Morrison got on TV and brought in some of the heaviest restrictions Australia has seen in more than 100 years. For us in the real estate industry, we couldn't do open houses, auctions were no longer allowed, and we could only show properties via private inspections. It was very, very scary times back then. That went on for around about 6 or 7 weeks, and then as of from around about the 8th of May, we're allowed to continue with limited amounts of people coming through our open houses, and the same with the auctions. But I've got to tell you, what happened in that period where people were locked down for around about 6 to 7 weeks is they really started to think about whether they really wanted to stay in the property that they were in or whether they wanted to move on. And I've got to tell you, I started getting calls from people that saw properties 2 months earlier, ringing me up and saying, "Hey Jason, you know that property that we saw 2 months ago? I'd like to buy, can you send contracts through?" And then all of a sudden, the prestige end of the market started to build momentum and it started to fly. Ending with an incredible record month for us in October, we did nearly $30 million worth of sales in 1 month, which was a record for our office in 18 years of Adcock Prestige. Well, we'll go on to the top sales for the year, the top 3 sales for 2020. Number 1 was $7.3 million for 24 Glen Road at Toowong, a stunning riverfront property that sold under the hammer at auction and setting a new suburb record for the suburb of Toowong. Number 2 was $5.1 million for a stunning riverfront property at 39 Richmond Street at Corinda, and that also set a suburb record by quite a considerable amount for the suburb of Corinda. Number 3 top sale for the year was $4.65 million, which was an incredible landmark acreage property at 385 Jesmond Road at Victory Pocket, and that also set a record for the dearest property ever sold off river in the suburb of Victory Pocket. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a couple of highlights for 2020 that really stayed with me for the year. The first one would have to be the incredible auction that we conducted at 24 Glen Road at Toowong that sold for $7.3 million under the hammer, setting a suburb record. It went for nearly 12 to 13 minutes and went for nearly $1 million over the reserve price. I've been doing auctions for the last 26 years, and I've got to tell you, it was the most exciting auction that I've ever conducted. Congratulations again to both the buyers and sellers. It was an incredible result. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think moving into the end of the year for 2020 and looking ahead for 2021, I think it's going to be a fabulous year. It's really being driven at the moment by very, very low stock levels and huge amounts of inquiry coming from both Sydney, Melbourne, and expats coming back from overseas. We've also got a very strong contingent of local buyers upgrading. COVID really has been the silver lining for the Brisbane prestige property market, and I hope it continues that momentum right through into 2021. Well, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen, for our Adcock Prestige end of year wrap. From my family to yours, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a very prosperous 2021. And remember, if you're thinking of buying and selling Brisbane prestige property, I'd love to help you with your next move.